Hello and welcome to Joy News Prime. We're coming to you live from our studios here in Kokomlemle, Accra. We're live on DSTV channel 421, GoTV channel 125, and around the world on myjoyonline.com. My name is Samuel Kojo-Brace.
And I am Faustina Safo. Tonight, the presidency cautions Gold Board acting CEO Sammy Gyamfi over his dollar gift, as it says no further action will be taken beyond his public apology.
Also tonight, if you operate a dollar account, the Bank of Ghana has a notice for you. You can no longer withdraw your own dollars over the counter. We'll tell you more about this.
Also tonight, government explores private sector involvement in railway operations as the Ghana rail line workers sit down strike over unpaid salaries and poor conditions of service enters day 2.
The presidency has concluded that Sammy Gyamfi Dollars Gift saga must end with a caution, citing his apology and explanation as sufficient with no further sanctions to follow.
Well, this comes despite mounting pressure from the NPP and civil society groups demanding a full investigation. There's more in the following report.
The acting CEO of the Ghana Gold Board, Sammy Gyamfi, has been cautioned by the presidency following the public backlash over his dollar gift to self-styled evangelist Nana Agrada. Government spokesperson Felix Kwachi Fosu says no further action will be taken. The presidency considers Gyamfi's apology and the caution issued by the chief of staff as sufficient.
Presidency does not believe that any further action ought to be taken beyond the apology and the caution. And we all take a cue from it and are going to do better in order to meet the expectations of the Ghanaian public. We value feedback. We are aware that Ghanaians expect high standards in the performance of our duties as public officials, and we remain committed to meeting those high standards.
The decision follows public pressure from the opposition MPP and civil society organizations calling for a formal probe into Mr. Gyamfi's conduct.
If the president is unable to act on this matter, then the code of conduct must be shredded. It's of no use. It's useless.
The MPP further asked the Office of the Special Prosecutor to investigate the source of Mr. Gyamfi's cash, citing possible breaches of foreign exchange laws. A private citizen also petitioned CHRAJ to look into the matter. Legal experts say while public gifting may raise ethical questions, it does not automatically amount to corruption under Ghanaian laws unless misuse of public funds is proven.
As far as the laws of the country are concerned, I've not come across any clear violation of any law by Mr. Gyamfi.
For now, the presidency says the matter is closed and expects Mr. Gyamfi and all public office holders to uphold the highest standards.
Meanwhile, Chairman of Parliament's Finance Committee, Isaac Adongo, has defended Sammy Gyamfi, calling him a shining star for the NDC who cannot be sacrificed.
Of course, he should have known now that he's a public figure, and His Excellency is very mindful of the sentiments of Ghanaians relating to those matters. And so, yes, I would say that how do you call it? It's an error. He's erred, and I think he will learn from it. He still has a long future, and I do believe that we cannot throw out the bathwater with the baby. This is a shining star for us. He's so far done very well to start Gold Board from scratch, and the kind of systems he's developing at Gold Board to ensure that we have very robust gold export regime is commendable. Of course, he's made an error. And given the kind of work that he did against the previous government, you should expect that they will come after him.
Relatedly, the private citizen who petitioned the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice over the display of wealth by Sammy Gyamfi has withdrawn his request for a probe. On your screen is his letter, and it reads that I am writing to formally withdraw the petition that I submitted on 13th May 2025 with reference number 122/12/BL 12 regarding the instances of corruption against Sammy Gyamfi, CEO of the Ghana Gold Board. After careful consideration, I have decided that it is in the best interest to withdraw this petition. He again continues that accept this letter as formal notice of the withdrawal of the petition, cease any further action related to the petition. I appreciate the time and effort invested in reviewing the petition. If you require any additional information or documentation, please do not hesitate to contact me. Thank you for your understanding. And that is a letter that the petitioner has sent in just a while ago. Now, Deputy National General Secretary of the NPP is Haruna Mohammed. He's joining us. Professor CHRAJ is law lecturer at University of Ghana. Let me start with you, Professor CHRAJ. I mean, what do you make of the action taken by the presidency?
Thank you for the question. Thanks for having me. Yes, I think that I'm not satisfied with the decision made by the president, but I'm also not surprised by the decision.
Well, I mean, people will argue that the code of conduct that the presidency launched some few weeks ago doesn't contain in it, an official giving out gifts. How are we expecting the presidency to deal with this matter when it involves an official giving out gift and not receiving?
Of course, the code of conduct does not catch Mr. Gyamfi in the web. Neither does any specific law, especially if you're talking about criminal law, that would hold him liable or subject to prosecution for any offense that he may have committed. But we have to look at the issue from a broader perspective. The government came to power with a reset agenda. And I've said it point again that under the previous regime, we experienced state capture. And under state capture, we have a situation where the government is not totally in control of the affairs of the states. Now, we are into a new regime calling for a reset agenda. And I'm not sure that we can say at this point that state capture is out of the way. And so when such issues come up, the government has to take a firm stance and decision. And in line with the president's statements and remarks that he wants to make sure that his ministers act humbly, not show ostentation, and make sure that their interests and their lifestyle align with the concerns and the needs of the people. The government inherited a very bad economy. The president himself says that it's as if it's a crime scene. So things are not going well for a lot of people. And so for a government appointee or a member of the NDC to display such wealth in the open clearly raises eyebrows. And so the government or the president should have dealt with the issue in a fair manner to serve as a deterrent and to set a precedent, so that going forward, the people of Ghana will really come to the conclusion that the government is serious about resetting the agenda and taking us away from the realms of state capture. But we don't see that being reflected in the decision taken by the government or the president, because it doesn't show enough interests and determination to fight the canker that we face as a nation. It's as if it's a slap on the wrist, in my opinion.
Prof.
He has said that he has asked for forgiveness. Yes, but that forgiveness it could only serve as mitigation of sentence. So it doesn't mean that he should be left off the hook. At least at a minimum, there should be some sanctions against him, which will serve as a deterrent.
Okay, Prof.
And that you don't see from the president.
Prof, I'm grateful to you for joining us here. Let's bring in the Deputy General Secretary of the NPP, Haruna Mohammed, here. Haruna, do you accept the decision taken by the presidency?
I don't think that the decision of the presidency is enough. Be accepted. It's a slap on our face, and looking at us and telling us that to help with all your concerns. You can remember that there are several instances that has happened in this country, specifically a case with Madam Cecilia Dapa, when these very gentlemen in question questioned the source of the wealth of Madam Cecilia Dapa, and then quoted aspects of the Anti-Money Laundering Act and the Foreign Exchange Laws. He quoted Section 1 of the Anti-Money Laundering, and he indicated that once you have money in your possession, that you cannot account for it. It constitutes anti-money laundering aspect, and people should be dealt with regards to that particular matter. So if such a person is involved in such a manner, I think that investigation is very key. In the evening, we had a conversation where Felix has said that there is no any petition that is before the president with respect to that of Sammy Gyamfi. We all know that with that of Madam Cecilia Dapa, there was no any petition before. She actually complained to the police of theft.
But Haruna, the two instances are not same. One involves millions of dollars, and this is not up to, from the video we saw, you wouldn't say it's more than $1,000. Can you compare the two issues?
Yes, the two issues are not the same, but one aspect, one law was applied. You applied one law in that aspect, and it was applied by this same gentleman, called Sammy Gyamfi, that, and I can quote him, that once money is found in your custody and you cannot account for the money, and that money is disproportionate to your income, okay, you shall be deemed to commit the offense of money laundering. Okay. This was a quotation that he had put across. Yes, they are not the same. Madam Cecilia Dapa worked for over 40 years. The husband is an established architect. They accumulated that money. They knew very well that something went wrong, and they reported to the police. But in this particular scenario, this is the gentleman who has just been employed. He has not received a dime from the state by way of salary. The person is seen in the public displaying money, and the worst of it is foreign currency. And he's in charge of the gold board. So it is something that the president has to take action, but he's telling us that his indecisiveness is very key, and he has to stick to that.
I'm grateful to you. I'm grateful to you for joining, but we must know that at least he was not unemployed before coming to government. But the issues or the debate will continue.
All away from that, if you operate a dollar account, the Bank of Ghana has a new directive for you. No more over-the-counter dollar withdrawals. Board member of the Central Bank and chairman of Parliament's Finance Committee, Isaac Adongo, says banks that flout the rule will face sanctions. He's been speaking to Evans Mensah in an exclusive interview airing later tonight on PM Express.
If you put your dollars in a bank account, it is okay. We are happy with that. But
I need to spend it the way I want.
No, wait. So you can only get dollars if indeed you are going to use it for a dollar-denominated transaction.
Well, why should the BOG bother? It's my dollars.
No,
I put it there.
If you take it, because the central bank is supposed to regulate the use of our legal tender, and our legal tender is the Cedi. So if you go to the bank to take your dollars to go and buy fufu, you don't buy fufu in dollars. We will give you Cedis to go and buy fufu.
But if there's a fufu seller who wants to sell the fufu to me
because that is illegal. Go and read our laws. Nobody
so what happens to saying in all these schools billing us fees in dollars?
So we are getting there. It's a gradual. That's
but
what
I haven't seen any action.
I said it's not an event. It's a process.
Yeah, but this is a simple.
See, what you are doing is that you are not allowing me to give you a complete picture of the things we are doing.
We have a long time.
No,
except
we
that
don't
you
have
make things that needs to be interrogated.
No, and I'm saying that
because there are some low-hanging fruits that what you've said.
And those are the ones we are targeting. Which one?
The fundamental one. The reason why the dollar is what it is that you just touched on is that this is a dollarized economy.
and I'm explaining to you.
And I haven't seen any action.
And I'm saying that
overtly.
I'm saying that, you see, we don't need to go on the rooftops. You see the result in the dollar rate. And we are saying that you can no longer speculate with a bank account in dollars. Because when you put the money in dollars into a bank account, we'll give you the dollars only when you need it for a dollar-denominated transaction outside of our country. Because dollars must be spent outside, not inside. But if you need the dollar to go and spend on, say, Cedi denominated transaction, we'll give you the Cedis.
But this is theory.
That is what's happening. The reality is that
which economy?
Go and put your money in your bank account and go and get it, whether you get a dollar in Ghana here.
I go to the bank all the time to take my dollars.
And you take dollars?
Then nobody asks me
dollars.
My own
when
money.
Was the last time you did that?
Unless
it's illegal. You can't be giving dollars on the counter.
No. Unless I am going with CDs. In the hopes that I'll get dollars from the bank. I'm buying the dollars from the bank.
You won't be so.
That they require.
You won't
that I have a visa. I have a flight ticket.
Yeah, that's when you are traveling.
Yes,
you see, because you are going to spend the money outside.
But I want to have a dollar account in the bank.
Yes.
And I go to withdraw my dollars. Nobody's going to ask me when I'm going to use it.
I'm telling you, go and draw it tomorrow.
That is sure.
Now let me. It's a fact.
No, nobody. You don't have a dollar account. You do.
I'm saying that you can't take dollar over the counter. As we speak today.
When I have a dollar account?
Yes, but you can't take it.
Why can't
you will be giving Cedi equivalent.
That doesn't happen anywhere.
Well, it's happening today in Ghana now, so maybe pay attention.
More on this by bringing in Dr. Daniel Cedi. He's banking consultant, also the Association of Bankers, the president of the Association of Bankers, Dr. John Ewuah. He will be joining us here. Let me start with you, Mr. John Ewuah. Have you received any directive yet from the central bank barring over-the-counter dollar withdrawals? Mr. Ewuah, kindly unmute so we'll hear you. Okay, Dr. Cedi, let me bring you in. I mean, is this the right way?
No, I can hear you now.
Good, Mr. Ewuah. So answer it. I wanted to find out from you whether you've received a directive from the central bank barring the over-the-counter dollar transactions.
I can say on authority that as a community of banks, we do not have any directive that bars over-the-counter withdrawal.
Okay.
Of USD or any foreign currency. But what I will add is we should know as a consuming public that you cannot just show up in a bank and withdraw foreign currency. There must be a legitimate justification or reason for in support of that withdrawal. So we do not, and I want to repeat that, we do not have any directive that says our banking customers who have placed dollars currency in the account cannot make dollar withdrawal over the counter if they have a legitimate reason to do so.
Okay.
And another point I want to make is we need to be very careful here. And with all due respect to the board member who spoke, Dr. Adongo,
yes.
that as banks, we do not take individual instructions or instructions from individual board directors of Bank of Ghana. Never. We do not take instructions from directors of the board. We take instructions from the bank. The bank here being the Bank of Ghana under the pen of the governor.
Okay.
So if it is something that is being deliberated, perhaps is something that we are not within the purview, and we do not want to even begin a discussion of such matter. But all I will say is, as banks, we are doing business as usual. We are here, and we have all witnessed a fantastic performance of the currency. Our hope and trust is that as a community, we help the government and the managers of the country to, ensure that the currency stays strong.
Okay.
And better. Being extremely strong is not necessarily good for the country.
But if the central bank directs you not to issue dollars to people without having proof that they would spend it outside the country, will you do it?
I would say we are a regulated industry, and our regulator is the Bank of Ghana. By the way, Bank of Ghana has been working with the industry is before any directive comes, which has the potential of significantly altering the conduct of banking in the country. We have some level of engagement. So the central bank would have engaged us, would have taken us through the mechanics of what is driving that kind of policy. And if we see it and we send our input and we judge in the normal way of consultation and it becomes a policy, of course, as banks, we are a regulated industry.
Okay.
And our regulator is the Bank of Ghana. What they tell us, we do.
Okay.
But the merit in the discussion is what I am pointing to, that we do not necessarily have to go the route where we are taking the views of individual board members.
Okay, I'm grateful to you, Mr. for joining. Time to bring in Dr. Daniel Sedo, who is a banking consultant here. Doc, grateful for joining. Is this the way to deal with, the performance of the dollar, of the Cedi against the dollar?
No, I do not think so. And the timing is very wrong. We're saying that the Cedi is appreciating. So what we need to do is to go on that path. So automatically, people will show a lot more interest in the Cedi than the dollar. Now, people save in dollar or put dollar in the bank because they are rational beings. They are looking for stability. They want to pursue wealth preservation. They may be looking for investment opportunities. So there are good reasons why they put dollar in the bank. And if the bank can accept your dollar over the counter equally, they must be able to pay you your dollar when you go.
Okay.
I feel that this is not a conversation for a board member to have on radio. Even if it's being discussed in the boardroom, I think it's a wrong way to approach it.
Okay. All right. I'm grateful to you, Dr. Sedo, for joining us here.
Well, away from that, 6 foreign nationals have been arrested in a gold smuggling crackdown in Kumasi and in while 3 will be deported. The others will face prosecution under Ghana's new gold trading law, signaling a crackdown on illegal gold trade by foreigners. Well, there's more in the following report.
In a coordinated effort, the Ghana Gold Board and National Security have successfully apprehended 3 Indian nationals for their involvement in illegal gold trading. This brings the total number of foreign suspects arrested in recent operations to 6. The first group of 3, all Indian nationals, were arrested before the new gold trading law took effect. Authorities say they will be deported. Prince Kwame Minka is the spokesperson for the Ghana Gold Board.
The arrest occurred before the 30th of April. I remember at that time, it was not the deadline. So the arrest occurred before the deadline. And because of that, they've been allowed to go back to their country of origin and reunite with their family.
But the second group arrested after the April 30 deadline will face prosecution under the Ghana Gold Board Act 2025.
But for the latest bust, which has occurred, for them, they will face the full rigors of the law. Just like the initial one or the first batch, they were caught flouting our laws.
The new law bans foreign nationals from trading gold locally, and authorities say anyone caught will face the law.
If you're a foreigner and you're caught trading within the local gold trading industry, which is now the sole reserve of the Gold Board, you will be made to face the law.
Gold, cash, and machines have all been seized. These items, authorities say, were part of a sophisticated attempt to smuggle Ghana's resources. As the first 3 prepare for deportation, the others will soon be in court, charged with violating a law designed to protect Ghana's gold from illegal hands. Ghana's gold trade is under new rules, and for those trying to beat the system, the consequences have begun.
Well, consumers are pressuring traders to reduce prices following the Cedi strengthening, but traders argue that meaningful price drops will take 60 days. The traders say Ghanaians can only benefit from the Cedi improved performance when new imports hit the market. Now, that, they say, would be in 2 months. Dr. Joseph Obeng, president of GUTA, notes that government support is crucial for traders to benefit from the Cedi's improved performance.
And we will do our job. We will respond positively. The market forces will determine the prices and it will respond positively. We are in a highly competitive market. Most importers have started getting benefits of this, and most of them have started showing and sharing the benefit to the consuming public. You just have to search the market and you'll find this. But all that we need is for government to do its work, do whatever it is to sustain this, and by 2 months' time, everybody in the country will witness the fact that the business community also think about the consuming public. We depend on our customers, the consuming public, to survive as businesses. And there's no way we will not share any gains when we have it. When we have it, we will share with you. And so all that we are all talking about is sustainability and predictability. And that's a game. And so we thank you, and we are waiting upon the government also to do its bit by sustaining the currency, the gains here.
President of the Association of Ghana Industries, Dr. Humphrey Ayim Dake, says his members are observing the market trends and will adjust accordingly.
We commend government and also say to government that we are committed to the cause of reflecting these gains in our pricing in our various business activities. As stated by my colleague, it's as a result of the forces of demand and supply that determines price on the market. We believe sincerely that within the period of 60 days from now, this impact will be translated onto the final price of our products that we wholesale and retail.
But consumers are not happy about the decision of both GAI and GUTA. They want a reduction as soon as possible.
In the last few days, members of the general public have been calling for a reduction in the prices of goods and services following the appreciation of the cedi against the dollar and the consistent drop in fuel prices. Well, there's been a back and forth between the traders and government on where they stand on this issue. But we've got a big announcement, and that's GUTA and AGI coming out to say that Ghanaians will have to wait at least 60 days for that reduction in the prices of goods and services to happen. And so we're here at the Makola market to find out or sample thoughts from the public on what they make of this news.
I just came and buy some few items for my shop, and I'm having a little challenge about the price that they are giving the things to me. So I was challenging the woman that now the dollar has come down, so why is it still the price is up? And he said if I like I should buy or I should go. So I'm very worried about that one. If I have this opportunity, I want to tell the president to engage with the businesswomen in Makola to let them know that now the dollar has come down, so they should reduce the price of the goods so that we too we can purchase some and go and sell.
GUTA, the association on that speaks on behalf of these traders, are saying that would be able to happen in 2 months.
It is going to worry us very, very. As for me, I'm not happy. So they should do something about it. We can't wait for 2 months, or some of us will keep our cedis till the 2 months. And some people can come and ask they want to buy certain things, and we cannot come and buy it here. And then later on, you have your things in your shop. When they reduce it in 2 months, they will tell us to reduce the things, which is going to affect our businesses. So we are begging GUTA to quickly come in before 2 months, so that.
Well, meanwhile, Trade and Industry Minister Elizabeth Ofosu-Adjare is hopeful the ongoing negotiation with the trade bodies will yield positive results.
Meeting has been very fruitful. It has been frank. We have stated that government does not have the power to control prices, but government has the power to negotiate with our stakeholders to ensure that traders, manufacturers, and consumers take advantage of an opportunity when it happens. I'm happy to inform you that the direct importers have agreed to reduce their prices, and some have already started that already. We've also heard from GUTA and AGI that it is good that the Cedi has stabilized. They need a bit of time to let this reflect in their prices. It will happen gradually. The direct importers have started reducing their prices for the retailers, and this will be total when the old stock comes down. They're able to find an average from the new stock and the old stock, and prices will certainly go down. But this will be total in about 60 days.
Yes, so watching Johnny's Prime. We will take a break here. We'll be back with more. Please do stay. Come back from the break.
To other stories now, the Ghana Railway Authority's acting CEO, Dr. Frederick Apo, has hinted at a potential private sector participation in railway operations to boost revenue amid an indefinite strike by workers. Now, the workers who have been striking since May 13 cite mismanagement and privatization as the solution to the company's challenges. There's more in this report by Collins Frimpong.
The indefinite strike has affected livelihoods across several railway stations, especially at the Tema station. A porridge seller who has operated there for over 6 years told me she now sells larger portions just to finish selling early, as passenger traffic has drastically dropped.
I had to reduce my food because of the strike. Yesterday and today, businesses have not gone well.
The workers have gone over 7 months without pay and continue to work under poor conditions.
If government resolved issues, we will resume work tomorrow. We are only expecting government to intervene.
Not only has the train operating the Tema-Accra route has been grounded, but the police train expected to operate on the Tema-Impagadan rail, which was involved in an accident during the test run, has also remained idle, despite maintenance works being completed nearly 4 months ago. Senior security guard Kwesi Entry shared the situation with Joy News.
We plead with government to give out the trains for private sector to manage. We have completed maintenance works on the police train, but it's still packed because the company can't buy. Company because new CEO I didn't buy. She's getting hot. I was out mining a tofu and the man and sana trainer move. Now say train when move on miner boka.
The workers are calling on the government to allow private sector participation, arguing that the Ghana Railway Company lacks the capacity to effectively manage the sector. Reporting for Joy News, Collins Frimpong.
Now, speaking on the pause earlier this afternoon, acting CEO of the Ghana Railway Authority, Dr. Frederick Apo, said he's exploring a potential private participation in the company's operations.
First, we are going to commence the Tema to Impakadan very soon. And we are about to also conduct market sounding for private sector participation on the Tema to Impakadan operation. That is step number one. Step number two, we are equally going to conduct market sounding for private sector participation on the continuation of the Western Railway line from Hini Valley through to Junkwao to Buankra on the right leg, and from Junkwao to Yineyini via Awaso. So touching base on all that project. But we need to be realistic.
Right.
Railway infrastructure is very expensive. It's $5 million per consecutive $5 million per kilometer. Per kilometer. So this is not about the rolling stock. This is just about the track and the basic signaling and telecom communication.
Away from that, government is set to roll out a new performance target for Kolebu Teaching Hospital in a bid to improve service delivery. Now, that is according to the Health Minister, Kwabena Kando. He made the announcement after a tour of the facilities, specifically the surgical and maternity blocks, where he bemoaned the poor maintenance of the place. It may be recalled that Minister Kando was in Kolebu 8 months ago as a ranking member on Parliament's Health Committee. He had a brush with the staff who, at the time, prevented him from inspecting the broken elevator to the surgical ward. Well, today, he has been given an update on work done so far to fix the elevator, plus the government's move to set a new performance target for the hospital.
I've received a lot of complaints from the public, so I decided to come and see for myself and then have some meetings with the management, and we all think through how we can solve the problem. That's the most important thing. The solution is the most important thing. I'm happy to also add that some of these issues have already been identified and steps have been taken already. For example, if you could recall my visit here to inspect some of the lifts when I was a ranking member, immediately I became the minister. The then acting CEO rushed to me. He said, Mr. Minister, I don't want you to come to Kolebu without fixing this thing. So I gave approval for the fixed, the lift to be fixed. And I've asked about the update. I'm told it's in the process, and very soon that will be fixed. So among other things, probably that may not be for the consumption of the public. But what's important is that to have the first-hand information, and then together we all think through it. We are going to develop new KPIs, new policy directions, and without sounding repetitive, they are aware of some of them.
Let me bring in James Amwa. He is General Secretary for the Public Health Association. Thank you so much for your time here on Joy News Prime. I just wanted to get your understanding, really. Government said it is setting new KPIs for your members. Have you been consulted so far?
Thank you so much for having me. We have not been consulted yet, but I think this is the right way to go because we need to get our various health facilities working up to standard, not just Ghanaian standard, but international standard. So if the performance indicators must be improved to ensure that all of them work according to what has to be done globally, then I think it's a good idea.
But at the core of the issues facing the health sector, what do you think government should prioritize?
First of all, I think if you look at the 6 building blocks of every health sector, we need to first of all look at how do we make healthcare accessible to everybody. So we talk about universal health coverage to ensure that every Ghanaian who is sick is able to access our healthcare facilities. Number 2, we need to look at health financing. How do we make sure that finance doesn't become a barrier for someone not to achieve healthcare? So how do we strengthen the national health insurance? How do we ensure that there's enough funding to support our healthcare service? Finally, also, I think government should look at how do we resource our healthcare facilities, not only in terms of the equipment that they need, how do we ensure that the health professionals themselves have gotten the right, so that, for example, in some of the we do not have healthcare professionals. How do we make sure that our professionals there are well trained to work over there?
Thank you so much for your time here on Joy News Prime. Well, it's time for showbiz, and I'll be leaving the studios. Brace, I'm leaving in the able hands of Becky.
Today I take over the button to do with, EBEX.
Yes,
Let's see how it goes, yeah.